Okay guys, so welcome back to another one of my videos, and for this video I'm going to actually scrap out an old plasma TV. I'm going to probably do a series on couple of different TVs, so you'd have LCDs, LEDs, plasmas, CRTs, and probably won't be able to get hold of an OLED yet, but I'll have a look around, I never know. So I'm going to start off probably with the plasma. We all know what's in the CRTs, but in the old type plasmas, is it worth scrapping them out for gold recovery? So this is a, I think it's a Panasonic. We'll zoom in. Yeah, she's a Panasonic. So this is a Panasonic plasma TV. So it's the older type plasmas. So from about 2009, I think it is. So it's about 11 years old. Maybe a bit, maybe 11, maybe 10, or something like that sort of age. So what I'm going to do first, I'm just going to remove the stand from the bottom, and then we're going to get it up on the table, and that way then we can get a right look at it, or I might just do it on the floor. And we can scrap it out and have a look in it and see what's in it, but we'll move it to another location and we'll get moving on it. Okay guys, so we're ready to start moving. As you can see, I'll just show you there's a few little connections here. We have a PC connection, so you could use this as a monitor if you want it, as a VGA, also HDMI's, and we have our audio in, audio's out. Again, I've tried testing this out, but it no longer works, so it's not worth it. And sometimes you might be able to sell something like the stand of it, where someone may have had one for a wall, but now have decided to take it off the wall and use it again, but they can't find their stand or whatever, so you might be able to sell it that way, sell the stand or something like that for it. But that's just some of the stuff. Other than that, what I'm going to do here now is I'm going to remove all the screws from the back and get us straight into the control board. So we'll start out that. As you can see, I still have my screwdriver set here, so I'll take that to a side. And the first thing I'm going to remove is going to be the stand. So, and then I'm going to remove all the rest of the screws. So I'll probably put this fast forward or something. Okay guys, so I hope you enjoyed that bit of music that was playing there for you while I was doing that and speeding it up. So what am I looking for out of this TV? What I'm going to be looking for once I take this cover off, hopefully, is some nice boards with some nice circuit boards or some nice IC chips on it, which will hopefully have some gold inside them for my gold recovery. So it's mainly gold recovery. I'll probably find some power boards and probably some copper wiring. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to move the camera out a bit. So I'm going to pull this stand out and then we're just going to left with the telly and then we're going to get the back off. So back in a second once I get this all set up. Okay, so we're ready to remove this back cover. So hopefully I've got all the screws out. I think I have. We'll know in a second when I go to take off this cover. I want to keep this cover intact so I can put it back on over the top after I remove what I want and send the rest of the telly for proper recycling for the rest of the components. So, okay, that's straightforward. That came off the back. Put that aside. Okay, and what can we see? Well, I can see a nice, a nice gold cornered VGA, and I can see another one in under there, I'm hoping. But we'll get these boards off and get a right look at them. Power board up in this corner. Another nice board here with a lot of IC chips on it. Some aluminium heat sinks. And I have the same over this side. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to actually remove these off camera because there's an awful lot of screws there and it would take too long, and then speeding it up again and doing everything else would just take way too long. So I'm going to just I'm going to remove all this off camera and we'll come back and we'll have a look through the board. So as I say, I'm going to be taking the power board, I'm going to be taking all these boards off. This cover has to come off somehow. There's a lot of screws down around here, a lot of screws on the side, over this side as well. We have some more clips and stuff, a lot of IC chips down it. So it seems to be fairly good for gold recovery. I can see a lot of nice gold cornered VGAs, some little bit of insulated copper wire. This is where the speakers are down here, and here in along there is where the speakers are. So it was a very high-end telly at the time. Looking at it, there seems to be a lot of good quality boards in there. I'd say mid-range to maybe high grade on this board. Hopefully, if there's a couple of more gold cornered VGAs under there, that would be classed as a high grade board. So yeah, I'm going to do this off camera. I'm going to just move the camera out of the way so I can get more access in there, just to get all them screws off, and we'll have a look and see what type of boards we have. So it looks to be a fairly good TV. The power board alone, again, we have some nice copper transformers, some more copper here, some aluminium heat sinks and things. So I'm going to keep that board intact. Actually, I mightn't even move that yet because maybe gold recovery boards I'll be looking at, because that board I might just leave it there and deal with that again on another video, or put it aside for another video where I can show you what copper stuff we get from TVs. But it's mainly for the gold recovery I'm doing this video. It's not as dusty inside as I thought it would be for a telly of that age, but this was the power in here. This is where the power supply was on it. So you plugged in there, and that's where you got all your power. So that's why I might just leave the power board alone for the moment, because there's a lot of wire to be cut through and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm just going to remove them screws, and we'll be back once I've them screws removed and we can have a look at the boards. Okay guys, so as you can see, I have completely removed all the boards from the TV, so it's time to see what we've got. So first off, I'm just going to show you some of the basic stuff that isn't gold related, but we've got some nice cast aluminium. So we have some of that nice cast aluminium, a couple of pieces of that, which will be kept and cleaned up and can be sold as cast aluminium to your scrapyard, or you can use it for maybe if you're going to do some casting yourself of ignats, whatever you want to pronounce it. We have some cable So again, I have more cable here. If I can take them off, there we go. So we've got some bits of cable. I've more taken off already and put aside. So that's just more of the cable. Just even bits of it here. So we have a bit more cable. Then we had these peripheral boards, I'd call them, or whatever. They're just kind of basic enough board. The main things on them that I can see, there's some gold pins in here. We have some very small IC chips. We have an MLCC, which is along here. A few more here. They're quite large. The one thing I have to say about this TV was the boards, as we'll see as we go on into them, they were fairly good standard boards. So the MLCCs may possibly be some of that better grade with the silver and platinum metals in them, but we never know until we get around to dealing with them. So we've got two of them peripheral boards like that, but much the same on both. There's not much difference between them. Again, you can see the MLCC here, and again along here, and again along here, and along here, and along here, along here. So that's what I'll be looking at, taking off them boards. Other than that, it's just the ICs on it and the MLCCs. I'm also going to double check these little connectors here to see if they're silver. That's there. If it's silver, that's a nice little bonus, but again, I'll check that in a few minutes. We can come back in a second and check that board at the end. The next board I'm going to look at is this board. So this board again has a lot of IC chips on them. These are all Panasonic IC chips. So I have never actually got a Panasonic IC chip before. So this is the first time I've come across the Panasonic branded IC chip. And again, in here we have little gold pins which were used to connect cables. So I'll come to them in a few minutes, the cables and stuff that came off it. Again, we have MLCCs, which I'll save up. So again, we have 3 and 3.6 and 3.9 and 1 or 2 down here. So maybe 10 or 12 on that board. So again, not the best board in the world, but not the worst board I've ever taken apart. Then we had these boards, and these boards had chunks of aluminium on them. So I took one off just so you can see it. It's extruded aluminium. There's a little bit of steel here that just needs to be pulled out on them. Other than that, nice little chunk of aluminium again, which can be sold into your scrapyard, or you can use it again if you want to ever melt it down. We have a lot of MOSFETs, so again they will contain copper, and we have little spools of copper along here. So we've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little spools of copper. These here, I'm not sure what's inside of these, to be honest. So if anyone does, if there's any value in them, please let me know in the comments what you think is in there, or is it worth micro scrapping these down even more. We have a little transformer of sorts here, so again there will be copper inside of that, so that can be pulled off and put your copper. I was hoping these would be gold connectors in here, but they're not. So there's no gold connectors in under there, and again you can see another line of MOSFETs along here, and again the chunk of aluminium. So that was one board there, a couple of IC chips. So again the IC chips will be more, another MOSFET here. Again they're not gold pins, so nothing of value there for my gold recovery. But the spools of copper and the MOSFETs for the copper and the aluminium kind of make it, and the transformer here, the little transformer, or whatever you want to call it, little motor, whatever way you want to call it. So that's kind of it on that board. Put him aside there for a second. We had a second board like him, so I'll just take him out. So that's him there. So again, we've got our chunks of aluminium with our MOSFETs on them, and again we have a few MLCCs dotted around the board. You can see some up here and some down around here. Again we have our little copper spools, so we've 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on this one, but we have the MLCCs which we didn't really have on the other one. Again a few little IC chips, and again we have these, if anyone knows what they are, if they're worth taking off or they're worth stripping out, is there copper inside them, you let me know in the comments, guys. We have a little bit of a gold pin connectors in there. So we have the gold pins in there, so which is okay to get on it. And again, there's gold pins here, you can see them here, so they have little gold ends on them. So there's some there, and there'll be some on the other side of it. If I pull them out, I'm sure there'll be more. This one didn't have any gold on them, and again this end one did. They were gold pins, gold tipped pins, not really solid gold or anything like that, but just getting something nice to get out of the board. So we'll put that aside. The next board I'm going to show you is the power board. So I wasn't sure was I going to take this off or not, but I did decide in the end to take it off. So again, the main things here you'll be looking to take off or use is I'll be taking off the copper spools here. I'll be taking off the copper here, taking off copper here, and again we have some more copper spools down here that I'll remove from it. The aluminium little sinks, so that they disperse the heat or what the thing. So again, they have MOSFETs on them which will contain copper, so you can just put them off, put them in a jar and deal with them again at a later date, or sell them to a scrapyard as is if they accept them that way. So it's just some very thin aluminium, but again it's there. And up here again we have another little bit of aluminium, and here on the end it's a bit of stainless steel. It's not actually aluminium, it's a stainless steel bit of sheet, and so very thin little sheet of stainless steel. Again we have a few little copper bearing transformer in here, and we have the two larger ones there. So again, if anyone sees anything else I've missed there, if these are worth taking off, again there's a bit of copper in here. On the other end, the side of the board, a few little IC chips. So we have very small IC chips which may contain some gold bonding wires. On the TV power ones, sometimes I find they don't have the gold bonding wires in them. And then the main board. So this is the main board. So the two things I like on these, or straight away, is the two gold corners BGAs. So again, they will have gold bonding wires inside them. Then we have a few flat pack IC chips, so nicely to have a few of them on it. Again, we'll have gold connectors in here that I'll take these off for. We'll have gold little connectors inside of there. Other than that, there's nothing there. These are not gold pins, unfortunately. They're just tin or aluminium, whatever type of pins they are. Again, we have some gold down in here. You can probably see the glitter of the gold. So they're gold tipped pins, gold tipped pins. Over this side again, we have some more gold tipped pin in there. We have some MLCCs on it. I think crystal oscillator. We've got one of them on it. And on the other side of the board, again, we have another crystal oscillator, and we have some flat packed IC chips, another crystal oscillator, some small little IC chips. We have a little bit of gold flash in there, but it's not going to be worth going after, to be honest, on the board. So that's it from that board. We also got some ribbon wire. So they have your gold little fingers on them, so they're worth cutting off. And I'm just going to cut off one, if I can get my scissors where I've left it. On the side here, let me bring the camera over a bit so you can see what I'm doing. So along here, these ribbon wires are gold as well. So if I just cut one of them off so you can get a look at it. So as you can see, some nice gold fingers on there. So they'll be put into a jar and they'll be dealt with the same way as you would with your RAM figures and stuff like that. This year I hope to maybe deal a bit more with collecting copper and aluminium, like them small bits of aluminium, them copper. They'll build up over time, put them into little buckets or bins or something, and cash them in later on in the year and see what we get out of it from these little things. I don't really break down washing machines and stuff like that because it's just too much to be dealing with, but like televisions and stuff like that, if I break them down, I put the back cover back on this and send it. Again, these are all I'll just turn the camera down a bit. These are all little aluminium plates is here, so I've removed one, so you can see that's just a little aluminium plate. So again, they're easy enough to take off, easy enough to collect up, easy enough to store, and it can be used either to cash them in or can be used to cast something out of. So maybe at a future date I'll do a few casting videos once I get more confident in doing it, stuff like that. So that's kind of it, guys, from this this video. As you can see, wasn't too bad. Fairly happy with the boards on it. A lot better boards than I thought there would be in it. So this is the first TV that I'll be doing in a series of different TVs I'll be breaking down. So this was the plasma TV. So these are aluminium as well, by the way. There's a few other bits and pieces of aluminium that can be removed. I'll probably remove them before I get the telly sent back. This is aluminium here, this plate, so I'll remove that plate. All these small little plates are aluminium. This is even aluminium up along here, so that can, once I can get that removed, if I can get that removed, just take these off and try and get the screws underneath removed from it. I'll have some more aluminium hopefully out of it. If it's not, if it's too hard to take off, I'll just leave it as is on it. And again, it's just remove the gold fingers from it. So guys, that's it for this video. I'd like to thank everyone again for taking the time and watching it. I'd like to thank all the new subscribers that are coming to my channel, and anyone, hopefully you stick around and enjoy what you see and learn a bit, and hopefully we can keep getting this gold out of this stuff. So guys, until the next one, keep safe and keep on trying to get that gold. Thumbs up, guys. Take it easy.